Hello, Cricuters, and welcome to Cricketing with Delonda. It's me again, Delonda, and thank you so much for joining me today. In today's tutorial, I am doing what I promised I would do, which was use the faux suede, because that was what was the most selected thing from the last mystery box. I said, what do you want to see me craft with? And most people said they wanted to see what I could do with the faux suede. So this is what we're using tonight. I made a passport holder for my husband, and I'm going to make one for myself and one for my daughter, Madison. Morgan is not ready to make hers just yet, but when she does, I'm sure it's going to be super cute. Okay, so this is what his looks like, and I'm very, very excited about how it turned out. He doesn't have any stamps in there. We've only been out of the country twice, so we only have 2 stamps right now. But I am very excited to share this process with you, and if you find it helpful at the end of this video, please consider hitting the like button, subscribing to my channel, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week without fail. Okay, so without further ado, let's look at the materials you'll need in order to create a passport holder just like this. The materials that I'm going to use for this project include the faux suede as promised. You already know which color I'm going to use. You can guess if you've been with me for any length of time. There were 5 sheets in here. I've already used one of them because I made one of the projects. But so there's a black sheet left, a red one. I don't know what this other color is called. Oh, it's called caramel, and there's a tan color. Okay, so I've already used one of them. We're also going to be using the Cricut foil transfer kit. I'm going to use the fine point tip. I'm going to use my Cricut True Control knife, my pen weeding tool. I'm going to use the Cricut scoring tool. I will be connected to my Cricut Explore Air 2. I'll use tonight is a Cricut night, isn't it? I will be using my Cricut 9x9 Easy Press. I will be using brown or chocolate heat transfer vinyl. I will be using 1 sheet of the gold foil. I'll use parchment paper, a purple strong grip mat, and our passports. This is what Peter's looks like. I already made his, so I used 1 sheet of the faux suede to make his, and I'm very excited about how that turned out. And I'll use my fine point blade and masking tape to tape the faux suede down to the purple strong grip mat. Okay, so and last but not least, I will be using a glue gun with some glue sticks to glue the faux suede pieces together after they've been cut. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I am in Cricut Design Space, and I'm connected to my Cricut Maker, but I am going to actually connect to my Cricut Explore Air 2. And the first thing that I'll do is go to the left panel over here, and I will click on Projects, and I will go to the search bar right here at the top right, and I will search for faux suede, FAUX SUEDE, and faux suede and faux leather all come in together because suede is a type of leather. And what I'm going to do, what I did was I just looked through all of the projects to see if I could find something that was appealing to me, something that I would actually use. So I kind of just looked through all of them. And the one thing that caught my eye, I actually like this leather pencil holder, but I figured I probably wouldn't use that. The one thing that caught my eye was this thing right here that says "Make Something You Love." And if you're looking for the one that I use, it's the one that has a little passport under it. So I use this one, and it says "Make Something You Love" with Anna Griffin faux suede passport cover. So once you click on it, if you want to use it exactly the way they have it here, you can it'll tell you everything you need: pebbled faux leather, faux suede, standard grip mat, fabric glue or hot glue gun and glue sticks. And then you can just print and then follow these directions. However, I did not do that. This template was free for Cricut Access members, so I didn't have to pay any additional money for this. I am a Cricut Access member. It tells you that this design will cut out at approximately 9 by 6 inches. And when I did it the first time, it was absolutely perfect. Okay, so what I did was I clicked on customize. Okay, when you click on customize, it'll come in with all of the pieces, including these alphabet. One thing to note about the alphabet, let me bring the view down on my screen to 75% and just show you something very quickly. If you look over here in the layers panel, there's a basic cut of the alphabet, and then there's a bottom layer that is not turned on. So if you click this eye, you'll see that there's a layer that's actually, let me ungroup it, that's actually behind there. So there are 2 layers of this alphabet. I didn't use either of these, but if you're going to, you can decide on the one that you want to use. If let's just say you wanted to use the letter D, and I'm just using this as an example, you would have to ungroup these letters and then, get rid of the ones you don't want. And then you can just click on like the D and then move it over to this little thing right here if you wanted to slice it out and do it the way that it is in the picture. I'm not doing any of that because I'm making my design a little bit differently. Okay, just wanted you to see that and know what options you have. I'm going to delete all of that because I'm not using it. I'm actually going to delete this too because I'm not using this either. Okay, I am, however, going to use this template because this is the perfect size for the passport holder. And even though it is a passport holder, you really could use this for anything. You could use this little template to hold your ID, to hold any important documents that you want to just keep handy. It could be used for multiple things. Okay, so the next thing that I am going to do is I am going to click on the biggest piece of this template, and I'm going to just change the color of it to white, because it really doesn't matter what color I change it to in Cricut Design Space. What matters is what's going to be cut out on the mat. Okay, so after I do that, I'm going to go over here to the shapes option, and I'm going to choose this score line. I'm going to take the line and move it over to the top of this template, and I'm going to resize it a little bit, okay, because I do want it to be the length of the template, or the height of the template. Okay, so I'm just move it over and just make it the same height. Okay, and then the next thing I'll do is take the whole thing. I'll select the biggest piece of the template and the score line, and I will go to align and center, and then I will attach it. Okay, so that's just going to attach a score line, but it's also going to let me know where the halfway point is on this piece of the template, and that is going to be important. Okay, so after I have that, remember, do not change the size of this template at all. Right now you should have 3 things on your screen, just these 2 small pieces and this big pieces with a score line that is attached. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make Madison's first. I'm making 1 passport holder for Madison, and I'm going to make 1 for myself. Okay, so with Madison's, I'm going to go to text, and the font that I'm using is one that's called Samantha Upright. It's already selected, but I'll show you what that looks like anyways. I'm going to go to her name. I'm going to type in Madison, Madison. Okay, it already defaulted back to Cricut Sans, which is fine. Okay, so right now the font is on Cricut Sans because it's when you open Cricut Design Space, it's on Cricut Sans by default. Okay, so I'm going to go up here to search, and I'm going to search for the font that's called Samantha. This is a font that I purchased from Creative Fabrica on Black Friday, and I paid $19 for it, but it is worth $35. It is a good value in my opinion. Okay, so now that I have her name, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit just so I can look at it really clearly. And I'm not going to duplicate it just yet because I'm going to go ahead and make some changes to it. Now for this part, I am going to need to use the character map UWP. I've introduced the character map UWP prior to this tutorial when I did the tile with Peter and my name on it. With the, it just says Peter with a heart and it has Delonda on it. I introduced the character map at that time. Okay, so I'm going to go to her name. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to start to change it up to make it look the way that I want it to look. Okay, so I'm going to go to the character map. It's down here on my bottom, I guess it's called a menu bar, toolbar. Okay, so one of the letters that I'm going to change in her name is the M. So when I look at the letters, the first thing that I did was I just kind of looked at the options for M. Okay, and I see, I can look at all of them and I can find the one that, I really like. And I want to show you the one that she chose. She likes the one that looks like this. So now that I have it up, I'm going to click copy. I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space. I'm going to click on this M, just double click on it. I'm going to backspace and I'm going to do Control V. Control V works as paste. Okay, so then now I'm going to take the D because she wanted the D to be different. I'm going to go back to the character map, UWP. I'm looking for the D, this one. Okay, I'm going to click copy. I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space, double click on this one, remove it and do Control V to paste it in. And the last letter that I changed up was the N. So I'm going to go back to the character map. I'm going to go find the N that she liked. The N that she liked has a glyph at the end of it. Okay, I think this is the one. Let me look at this other one. No, it was this one. Okay, so I'm going to click copy. I'm going to go back to Cricut Design Space, remove the N that's there and do Control V. And that is that. Let me select the whole thing. And I'll just attach it for now and I'll duplicate it and I'll just move this one over just in case I need it for another time. Okay, so now this one is attached. Now what she asked me to do was find an image of an airplane. So I'm going to go to images and I am going to search airplane. Okay. And she liked this one right here. I want to add it to the canvas. And what I'm going to do is bring it down. She wanted it smaller. Okay. And then she wanted me to kind of just move it over like that. Okay. It's almost, she wanted it kind of like attached to her name. She wanted it like that. So I'll select the whole thing and then I will weld it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take her name. I have the whole thing clicked together and it's welded. I am going to go up here to rotate and I'm going to rotate it by 270 degrees. I'm going to go to 270. I'm up here in the top panel. I'm going to hit enter and then I am going to resize this so that it fits in the passport template. Okay. Right here at the bottom. Okay. And that is how she wants hers. So now at this point, I will click save and I will save as, and I'll call them passports in progress. Okay. Save. And I can delete this now because I don't need it. Now I will go ahead and make the one that I'm going to do for myself. So I'm also going to go to text and I'm going to type my name, Delonda, and I'm going to just do pretty much the same thing that I did for hers. I'm going to so I decided to speed this part up because it was pretty much the same process that I followed for Madison's. I went back to the character map, UWP. I found the capital D that I liked. I copied and pasted. Did the same thing for the lowercase d. Scrolled through, found one that I liked. Click copy, click Control V. Same thing for the letter A that I liked. Found one I liked. Then I went and did a search through images. to find luggage. I didn't want to use an airplane because I'd already done that for hers. I found one that I liked, and then I put it, I resized it and attached it to my name once I got it in the proper position, and then I welded it. I selected the whole thing and welded it together. Then I rotated it by 270 degrees so that it would fit on that template. I actually duplicated the template because I was making 2 passport holders, and I needed one for myself and one for Madison. And once I had it in place, I decided I was going to use the foiling tool for this, for my name, and you'll see what happened with that. I ended up not liking it at all, but I just followed the same process that I followed for hers, except I attached mine because you have to with the foiling, but not for heat transfer vinyl. Then I was just moving the pieces around on the canvas to reduce the amount of mats if I could. Now I'm going to click Make It and see what I get. When I got to this screen, I realized that the way my mats were placed, the way that my template pieces were placed on the mats was not going to work because I was using 2 different colors of leather, the red one for myself and the tan one for Madison. So I knew that I needed to just move it around and change it up a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right here, is just moving the template pieces around so that I could have the least amount of mats, but still have them in the right order so that when the leather was cut, I wouldn't make a mistake with the placement of the leather. Okay, so my options are, my options are, I need to turn on browse all materials. I'm going to cut this on the craft board setting. Faux leather, paper thin, I don't want to use that setting. I have not had good results with that setting, but I am going to cut this on the craft board setting. And it's telling me to load the scoring stylus in clamp A, and then the foil transfer tool fine tip in clamp B, and to load my mat and get everything done. Okay, so I'll do that. Okay, so I have the piece of foil on top of where my name will go on the leather. So the leather is on my mat face up, and I have it taped down on all 4 sides. The foil comes with these little strips that are reusable. So what I'm going to do is just get it taped down. I'm going to insert the scoring stylus into clamp A. And I'm going to insert the foiling tool into clamp B. Remember, I'm using the fine point tip. It is the one that only has 1 mark on it. So I'm going to insert it right here. Fine point. The foiling tool can be used in the Cricut Explorer Air 2 and in the Cricut Maker. Okay. So I'm going to get my mat loaded. And cross my fingers and hope that I've done it right. Okay, so it's scoring first. Okay, set up for next step. It says confirm foil transfer, fine tip and clamp B. Tape gold foil shiny side up on the base material. I did that. Okay, so it's important to note, and I know you saw my snafu. I want you to see it because I don't want you to make the same mistakes. So it looks like it's cut in two different places because I did unload it and then reload it. And I'm curious to see what this is going to look like. But when you're using the foiling tool, it's important to not unload your mat. So what I'm going to do is remove the tape from all sides of the foil and see what I like it. I like it. It's cute. It actually added a little something to it. Okay. I like it. I like it. Okay, so I'm not going to remove the mat. Now I'm going to take the foiling tool out and I'm going to put my fine point blade in so that this can continue with the cut. I'm actually finished with the scoring tool also. So I'm going to click the flashing C. Now I'm going to unload my mat. And this is what the gold foil looks like. And I know that it was cut because I could tell that it was cut. So these are my pieces. Okay, so I'll get that glued together in a minute, but first I'll get Madison's cut out. Now I'm going to get Madison's name cut out, so I'm just using my green standard grip mat. My heat transfer vinyl is on the mat with the shiny side down. Right here, I just added a thin layer of hot glue to the edge of the faux suede on the inside. And I realized that my hot glue wasn't really hot enough, but it was doing a decent job. So what I decided to do after adding the layer, the little thin layer, I used my heat press to go to just reinforce what I had already done. So I just basically added more heat to the hot glue. So I'm just going to get all of this glued down. This is Madison's passport holder. And I have my Cricut 9x9 Easy Press already heating up, and it's going to reinforce what I'm doing here. Now that the inside is glued down, I am going to get the heat transfer vinyl, or HTV, also pressed down to the outside of the faux suede. That is just a sheet of parchment paper to protect the faux suede and make sure that I'm not using too much heat. My heat press is set to 325 degrees right here. Right here, I'm starting to take a second look at mine, and I realize I don't like it. And what I've decided to do is just cut another piece of heat transfer vinyl, the same size as the foil. And I am going to press it just right on top of what I've already done. I'm gluing the insides down, adding the heat from my heat press, following the same process I follow with Madison's. And then I am going to press my name right on the outside on top of the foil. So Madison's is dry now, and this is what the outside looks like. There's nothing on the back, just some glue that needs to kind of dry, and I'll wipe it down. But I can show you how to get the passport put in there. Just open up the flap, put it in one side first, fold the flap all the way back like this, and get it placed in there. And that is what the finished product looks like. Mine is drying right now, and once it's dry, I will share my final thoughts about this whole process. So this is the final product. This is my passport holder. This is Madison's passport holder, and this is Peter's passport holder. And what am I going to say? I love it. I love the way these came out. I love Peter's the most, I think. I think Madison's is second, and I like mine the least. I think because I was kind of excited about using the foiling tool, and maybe I just need to work on it a little bit more and get better at using it, because I really didn't know what I was doing. But I didn't want to hide that from you. I want to show you my snafus so you don't make the same mistakes. All right, I used the faux suede as I promised I would. In my next tutorial, sometime early next week, I will be using the craft board, and I'm probably either going to make another cutie banner so I can show you that process, or I might make an Easter banner. I'm just not sure yet. I haven't decided. Okay, so at any rate, hopefully this was helpful for you in some way or another, and you've learned how to use the faux suede if you just got the last mystery box and you are looking forward to your next mystery box. If you found this helpful, please consider stamping that like button, hitting the subscribe, and turning on the bell for notifications, because I do upload new content every single week without fail. Thank you so much for joining me today, and thanks for watching. Bye.